Folks, so I'm going to review Jeffree Star's Cupcakes Taste Like Violence EP. The thing about this project was Jeffree Star, the kind of glamour and fashion type dude who has a pretty big profile on YouTube nowadays, but like 10, 12 years ago, it was more MySpace. So apparently, I looked up the information. He was like one of the most followed people on MySpace, and I mean, like probably top three, top five, something like that. And so he had personality back then, but then he had put out like a series of EPs and mixtapes and hit songs on MySpace, but he started getting to the official point of putting out CDs in stores, and like his debut album, which was going to come out in 2008, which was called Beauty Killer, was supposed to have like deals with Hot Topic and places like that, just alternative places. But so that got delayed till 2009, and this EP was in its place. But this is actually not the first project. It's the first official project, but it's not the first project that he did. And then if you count all the songs that are on MySpace that I don't know what happened to, so that's he had a handful of songs before this. So there was a song that was supposed to be on here that was called like his cover song of Somebody's Watching Me. I kind of wanted to hear that just to see what that was like, but that's not included on the EP. So so we'll talk about the first single. The first single off this project is Lollipop Luxury, which on the album version of this features Nicki Minaj. Probably is the best song on here. Sounds like something Lady Gaga would do, or Akon, in a more club-oriented atmosphere. And the catchiness is just real good to it. It feels like something you'd hear at a rave or like some sort of gay bar or something like that. Just numerous nightlife type places. I mean, it's the thing about it is it kind of reminds me of like it is alternative, but the club sounding to it. It's not EDM. It's not something Pitbull or Nicki Minaj would normally do, or David Guetta, Rihanna, and LMFAO. It just has a different type vibe, and the fact that this had come out before EDM really blew up in the United States, that was interesting just because it did have catchiness to it. And I thought, yeah, I mean, this was the sort of stuff that I think Akon would have done had he stuck around. And Lady Gaga kind of briefly touched on this sort of stuff. Songs like Starstruck and Boys, Boys, Boys by her. And, a couple other ones that she did, maybe, what's that song called? I don't remember. But this certain songs like that, it's kind of the way that club songs were kind of going in 2008, in some cases 2007. But it was good to kind of hear that because, to me, it was fun back then, and it takes me back to some of those times. But obviously, the thing about it is okay, how many of the rest of the songs that go along with that are actually as good? And I feel like the title track, Cupcakes Taste Like Violence, that has a real catchy hook or bridge in that song that's, it's sing-songy and kind of melodic. So that one was nice. And all of these songs, before I talk about like not liking the up-tempo songs, all of them are up-tempo. All 6 songs. It's just intended as like one big dance night. I think it's like 15, 20 minutes that this project lasts. So you're just getting a good shot in the arm as far as like this club music goes. But it just depends upon your mood which one you're going to like more than others as they play. But the order that Jeffree Star placed them in is sharp for the most part, just because the first 3 songs, in my opinion, were the best ones. Miss Boombox is probably the third best of the first 3 songs, but it's a good intro. And that one probably sounds more club oriented, more so than dance club oriented. So that's how I felt about those. And then So Fierce was the 4th song. So Miss Boombox, Lollipop Luxury, Cupcakes Taste Like Violence, and then So Fierce were the ones out of the 6 that I enjoyed. and that basically warrants like a purchase and stuff. But then I would say, uh, Picture Perfect. I mean, it is kind of electronic type music, but it just felt like more of a mess. And that was the same thing with Heart Surgery. I mean, the catchiness was just real hard to get to and stuff. And I mean, compared to the way he handled things on Lollipop Luxury, it just felt simpler. The transaction was smoother. So, yeah, I mean, because that's the thing. I mean, when you listen to enough club songs, you start to be able to tell like when you're going to be able to hear a club song. Like, okay, this is right as I get here. This is where I'm getting ready to start dancing. This is where I found someone and I'm getting ready to dance. This is after I know that I'm getting ready to go home with someone. Just all those types of moods for when you go out, and it's kind of, uh, obviously, uh, this is kind of so. I mean, it's difficult to explain that to every single song on here, but uh, I don't know. I just didn't gel with Picture Perfect and Heart Surgery. But yeah, Lollipop Luxury is basically almost worth purchasing the project. This one doesn't have Nicki Minaj, but it's still, I didn't mind too much. Eventually, when I listen to Beauty Killer, I'll decide. But Cupcakes Taste Like Violence is like the next one that's also, both of which you might as well purchase the project just for that. But so I give this album a 7 just because I liked 4 out of 6. But I guess the reason why I'm not is just because I wish he would have put Somebody's Watching Me on there, the cover song that he did that was supposed to be the single. And then on top of that, the other reason is just because this EP is $31. I go onto Amazon and stuff, and that's the price they're asking. In some cases, like 35, $40 for it. And I just said, 6 songs from 12 years ago should not be that expensive. But, obviously it is, it's good music. So just buy it digitally or whatever. So, but the social score, I would give like a 5. I'll just give like a 5 out of 10 just because the single was large and his presence. I mean, it's not like he needed social presence just because he was the most followed person on MySpace and he had everyone on YouTube knows who he is. So I mean, really, he could have used a second single. I probably would have picked the title track, but there really was only one. And then, of course, the album came out a year later, so I would have liked to have seen more promotion. But obviously, with an EP, if you get a single on an EP, you just kind of go with that most of the time. But so yeah, 5 out of 10 for that. So subscribe for more fun. Jeffree Star has said that he's in a process of deciding whether or not he wants to do more music, but he does have like a series of EPs that he did that I'll probably try to pay attention to. So, all right.